Hello everyone, this is Nayyar, your host, and then we have our guest here, Ethan Twardosz, who is an entertainment producer, and right now we are live on Jess TV, and again, you can see Jess TV everywhere. I mean, on like all platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and just everywhere. And yes, today we have a special guest right here, Ethan Twardosz, and we'll be talking to him about um, um, his experience in Hollywood, like how he became a producer, how he's working in the industry, and those kind of stuff. So, Ethan, thanks so much for being part of the show.
Thank you for having me. I was really excited to be here. I very much apologize that we started 10 minutes late. All on me.
No worries, no worries, Ethan. It's okay. It's okay. So, I want to start off like, can you share more about how you first got introduced to filmmaking and creative production? As you have mentioned, like you have volunteered at film festivals in high school and visiting studios, agencies early on. And what stuck with you from those experiences and shaped your path?
Well, a little bit going back even further than just the last few years. I grew up pretty much in the film industry. My dad was a professor at USC and UCLA, who was one of the best. I mean, like a lot of film professors I know don't have a lot of real industry experience. He does. He used to be an executive at Cruise Wagner, which was Tom Cruise's production company, and also was at many other companies around Hollywood. So I was really my entire life in depth, like intertwined with this industry and going to all sorts of events and being a participant in his classes, getting experience within the entire space. In high school, I had started volunteering at Dances with Films, which, according to some news sites now, has become one of the top 10 film festivals in North America. And I'm now luckily a programmer there for kids, families, short films and features, both in the LA festival and the New York one. I didn't really find my love for the industry though until probably 4 years ago. I started a company representing content creators. I actually started because I was playing video games. They wanted to create little short videos and they hired people all over the world. They didn't know how to pay them. So I figured out how to pay them and to find talent in places where everyone online is completely anonymous. From there, I started traveling internationally. I went to 4 continents and 24 countries in a span of about 14 months. I worked on independent short films internationally with local teams in France, Mexico, and China, and gone to festivals and are doing very well. I'm very proud of them. I've been to every lot in Hollywood except for the Sony lot, and I've been meeting agents at CAA, Gush, WME, UTA, and just getting wonderful experiences as well. Although I do have to say I much prefer the management route. They're a little bit nicer than agents.
Very nice, very
And
nice.
now I'm working on a feature film
Very nice.
for producing it. It's in development right now. It's for a $2 million budget, and I'm packaging a few more that we're planning on working with Tubi for. Just today I was working on that as well, and just today I was actually at the Disney lot with a meeting with Jim Whittaker.
Whoa, that is
Yes,
so cool. Very
who
nice.
was the producer on Pete's Dragon and on the 2010 Robin Hood.
Wow, that
Mhm.
is crazy. I mean, come on, like I mean, like you're going all over the place, like meeting many popular people. That's great. So what motivated you to start Creative Bleed, your company, and what does the name represent to you?
Well, I mean, when creative bleed is a play on words, it's actually a real term, right? And it's sort of kind of what I embody. That anything I get involved in, I just have to involve myself. I can't be a passive participant in life. I'm only 20 years old, and I'm doing a lot of things that many people my age imagine themselves doing by the time they're 30 or 35. So I'm very young in what I'm doing. And it's because I apply myself 1,000% into every single thing I do. And whenever I do, I have new creative aspects to it. I try to apply myself to find different ways to do things. And I think Creative Bleed actually kind of embodies that for me.
Very nice, very nice.
And it's also a subsidiary under my dad's company, Savant Artists. He represents the sales and distribution. Yes.
Oh, wow, very nice. So it's kind of like, so like you're involved in this
Family business.
And your dad is involved in this too, which is great. You know, right?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I have to give credit where credit is due. He has been an amazing mentor to me. So
very nice, very nice. And I heard that you study computer science at California State University Northridge and have a diverse set of skills like coding, creative writing, and even music. So how have these non-film skills helped shape your identity as a producer?
Well, I think producers can have. Well, I think to break down what a producer is, I think people outside the film industry view producers very linearly, right, as just a creative role, right? But I mean, anyone in the industry kind of understands that a producer can take on many different things. I mean, just within the producer title, right? You can be someone who works on set, or someone who works in development, or someone who works in post. You can be an executive producer, an associate producer. You could be a financier. Actors can be executive producers if they're big enough names and they contribute to the financing of a movie by getting collaborations with brands. So, as a producer, my specific role has been honestly throughout the primary producer in the films I've been in, throughout development to post, right? And so that's where I see myself as a producer. But it's the involvement in the whole film and not just in one aspect.
Wow, that's very nice. So how do you decide which projects get the creative bleed treatment or support, and what draws you to a story or creative work?
Well, I have to say I'm a sucker. If someone comes to me with passion and love in a project, and and I feed off of other people's passion, I get drawn in by it, and that's part of the reason why I'm here. You're so passionate about this interview and this program, and I was like, I want nothing more than to be here and to experience this with you. And that's the same thing with the movies I attach to.
Excellent, excellent. So, you talked about blending new and old genres and supporting independent artists across media like film, photography, digital art. So, what does that fusion look like in practice?
Well, look to yourself for that answer, right? You're a composer, but you're also a creator online, and you apply yourself and market yourself all over wherever you can. I see that as the future of the film industry. What makes a star is the following that they have. A lot of people in the industry are afraid of content creators and shorts and these short dramas that are coming out and becoming more and more prominent. They're nothing to be afraid of, in my opinion. I represent creators, right? And these creators are actually a huge benefit to independent movies, because if an independent movie gets distribution, or you can go to Hulu or any other distributor and you can get some money, right?
Yeah.
To make the film, right? And you get an MG and you get a minimum guarantee for people who don't know to make the movie, and you can count on that money being there when the movie's done, and you can take out a loan according to that. But if you work with creators, right, it gives you freedom that you honestly don't have before, right? Because you're not just beholden to the investment of a large studio or production house. Is that these creators bring themselves with them brand deals, and collaborations, the money that you can bring in yourself that isn't privately yours, right? Which allows you to retain IP, which allows you to retain the rights to your movie after a certain while in ways that you honestly don't have the ability to in traditional media. So for independent artists and creatives, it gives you freedom. It allows you to kind of break away and get access to more private investment and investment from these other companies from outside the film space who are comfortable investing and advertising in the content creator world, who can merge that into the traditional filmmaking. And that's something I'm very good at. So I want to make that work and bring that to other films.
Interesting. So, what does success look like for you as a producer and as creative lead? Like, both from a creative and impact standpoint on audiences, artists, or culture.
Like anything. Don't you just want to make memories, dude?
Yeah, I guess so.
I live life just to make a memory. You live life in chapters to make the most of it when you can. Why work a job you're not passionate in, that you don't love?
Yeah.
And if you can make that job work for you and you live your life doing it, then just do it. I mean, we're all in this suffering in this difficult industry together, so you gotta love it. This is not going to make you money. If you wanted to make money, you become an investment banker, right?
Yeah, yep, that's for sure. Yep, it's about learning how to turn your passion into business. So that's the goal.
Exactly. You know it.
Yes. So I wanted to ask you, how do you balance artistic vision and creative integrity with the practical and business aspects of producing?
I just try to stay out of the way of the writers and the directors, and if I can support their vision, then I'm doing my job as a producer. Maybe there's changes here and there they have to do, right? But as long as they're sticking to the right thing, then it's good. Something Jim Whittaker said actually earlier today, which I think is very fascinating. I've never heard before from anyone else I've met, is that as a producer, one of your most important roles is being able to emotionally balance the team. Right? You need to reassure your investors. You have to be able to comfort the director and the writers that things are going well. That even if they're behind a few days, that they're able to finish the project well. That they're not going to stress themselves out or have a panic attack. A producer's job is to keep everything together, the whole coherency of the set. And if you can do that, then you're a very successful producer. So I want to support the people so they do the best job they possibly can.
Very cool. And you mentioned early in your articles is that one of the biggest challenges was learning how to communicate your ideas clearly. So can you share a specific moment when that challenge forced you to grow or change as a collaborator?
Well, it happens all the time. Just today, for example, I was talking to one of the people I represent, Emmanuel McLaurin, who has 9.5 million followers across all social media platforms. So he's a very, very talented person, and I'm very lucky to be representing him. But we come from two different industries, right? The language he uses in his industry is different from the language I use in mine, right? Especially because he deals with younger audiences and I deal with typically older audiences, right? There's like a clash, right? And we actually resolved it today, which is amazing. Right? It took 2 hours actually, unfortunately. But I was trying to convince him because he's going on a trip to Dubai and to Bali to work with sponsors and brand product placements for his other content. And I was telling him that he needs to start promoting himself more as an actor. right? So that way people can sort of in their head stop putting him in a cage artificially, because he has the talent to do more. Right? Everyone has talent to do more.
Mm-hmm.
And 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 I said, when you're dealing with investors, ask them to invest in your movie. Ask them to do this, right? When you're dealing with brands, ask them to invest in your movie, right? But he thought I was asking him to basically create a GoFundMe and beg them for money. And I was like, and it was difficult because there's two different things. I was letting him know, but the point that we're trying to get, and we both actually understood the entire time, is that all we wanted to communicate was that give them an option to have an additional place where people can look at their brand placements, which you package it with your short form content as well as into your feature content and into your episodic content that he does, right? And if you can do that and you're able to convey that all those options are available, then you're applying yourself to have access to more funding for more projects at all times. And because the words investment and funding and brand collaboration was very lucid in terms of where his world is and where my world is, we didn't know we were talking about the same thing, but we didn't know how to communicate that to each other, and it took a while. And then when we finally communicated it, it's like holy moly, you know. It was just laughing because I can't believe we were just having this like little argument, but we're talking about the same thing. So you got to resolve it. The important part is that you can resolve it in the same day. Because if it lingers, then people start to imagine that you're saying something wrong or you get the wrong idea about something. So it's really important to be on top of things as it comes up.
Very interesting, very interesting. So, was there a project you decided to shelve or pivot because you realized it didn't match your standards, vision, or resources? And how did you handle that?
No. There's no project that I've decided to shelf. Well, everything is good. Put it all out. We're independent people. I'm not a studio who produces tons of movies and TV shows all the time. We don't buy scripts just to buy them, and then never make them. So if we are going to invest our time into something, it's really important that you put it out there.
Interesting. So, in producing short films, indie projects, etc., right? Resources and constraints are often a reality. So, how do you navigate limitations like time, budget, talent, while trying to uphold quality?
Well, there's a movie that you worked on that we can take an example very well. Yeah. We did a short film called Peak. The Peak was an international film that we shot in Paris, France. It was a little horror, and my girlfriend actually was the one who was directing that one, and it was her idea, her script, and everything. And we had no money to actually acquire everything the right way. So we had to, we worked with students who were able to basically loan out equipment from the schools, because they had to do school projects and they got attached to things, and the schools had policies that the students were able to basically borrow a piece of equipment from the school catalog, and they could bring the equipment with us. So we did that. We brought gaffers with us. We brought all sorts of cameras and lighting equipment, and we got the right DP, and we dealt with our assistant directors and the actors, and we used Facebook, which is an amazing app to find people who love film, to connect to people who are very passionate and honestly wanted to find a project that they can invest their time in that would be worthwhile for them. And this project ended up getting a lot of attention, and people wanted to help in the project, and it was very early in your career, so you helped us for free making the music. Thank you very much. It turned out very good, and also everyone else did the jobs very well. We had an amazing DP, fantastic DP, and for people who don't understand, DP is director of photography. And everything turned out perfectly. we did it, and the only thing we had to pay for was one location and food.
Very nice, very
And
nice.
that was very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, yeah. And I do remember doing the score for Peak. I remembered when I first met a director online, she wanted that kind of specific music, and we took around, man, well, like 1.5 months to create the music. You know, and mostly I spent like 2 weeks on short film, but it was like a one and a half month project. I'm like, oh my god, this director wants everything to be perfect. You know. But anyways, I do really appreciate the dedication that Mingwei Lee has on this film, Peak. And
By the way,
for,
I still think that was one of your best scores.
oh,
You spent a lot of time on it, so I did think it was one of the best.
thank you so much, Ethan. Appreciate it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And by the way, it was one of my first French films I ever worked on. Actually, I haven't never worked on French film, so that was my first French film. I think that was my fourth short film I ever worked on in my career. So yeah, it was very interesting to score music for a short film in a different language.
And when we got into festival, you drove all the way down from
Yeah,
San Francisco down to Los Angeles in a single day to show up for the festival. And that is some real dedication that you have for everything you do. And I know you do that for other films as well. So, I mean, your passion and love into this is, I mean, it bleeds from you.
yeah.
You can see it just where you are. I mean, your background. I have the fucking excuse me language. I have the Coliseum behind me. You have all the piano, the keyboard, the music sheets. You got the lighting equipment that you have, and your entire space involves your work and your passion.
Yes.
I just have a bunch of books. I love books.
That's nice.
So
Oh yeah.
so it kind of tells you a little bit different in the way we view things. So
Yeah, I think you have your green screen background right behind you.
yes, no, you shouldn't. If you saw my background, you'd be very disappointed. But I do have to tell you, I love medieval stuff, right? So I want to work on. I'm actually working on developing a medieval thing,
Oh really?
right?
Ooh.
And I got myself, if my should work, I got myself one of these antique helmets. It's not going to actually show up on the green screen, I think.
Hey, I can see a little bit. Yeah.
Nah, I don't know. You can kind of see it. So there's some interesting stuff behind me, but it's mess. Creative people are messy. So
Of course, of course. Everyone is
you
missing,
do
of
not get to
course.
see my background.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, so looking back, what's one mistake or one failure you consider a turning point? Something that taught you a vital lesson about producing or leadership.
I was taking a meeting with somebody,
Hmm.
and I'm going to leave this unnamed. And I made a joke with him that probably this joke was something I probably shouldn't have said. It wasn't offensive or anything. It was just something about his work and career, um, and I thought we were getting along really well. And he took it really hard, and I couldn't recover the conversation.
Oh,
And I made a mistake about his background in the meeting as well, right? Where he was only an assistant at CAA. I mentioned that he was an agent. That was something I could easily fix if I did a little bit more research, because he was like, at the time he was an assistant, was like 20 years from where he is now, right? So it's been a long time, and there wasn't enough research on it, and I made an assumption that was wrong,
mm-hmm.
and I couldn't fix it, and so that was a big learning lesson about how to do your research for meetings and for meeting new people, but also how to recover something. And I was at the point where when I was trying to present myself to be perfect in every single meeting that I had, right? And when I realized I was wrong, I was too stubborn that I was actually right, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
you will be wrong, like a lot, because you make a lot of mistakes, and learning that mistakes was okay was the biggest hurdle I had to get over. I think, for sure.
I see. So like after that, like were you able to fix or like it was not possible?
No, I've not talked to him again. I need to talk to him. I actually need to reach out to him. I was just traveling for too long, and I never followed up. Um, but that is something I definitely need to do.
Hmm. I see.
Although I don't know if he'll change his opinion of me, but it would be worth it.
Okay. Got it. Um, I was wondering if you could maybe lower the volume of your mic a little bit, just not too much for the viewers.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can move it out of the way a little bit. Is this better?
I think it is fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, I use different platforms. So like the audio can be different on Discord than it is on like uh WhatsApp to Zoom. So sorry that the mic was a little bit too close.
No worries. It's like a second. No worries. Um, so I heard that so like creative bleed seems to exist not only as a production house but as a platform for independent artists to showcase their work. So what kind of community or culture are you trying to foster?
Well, I don't think I'm necessarily trying to do that. So Creative Bleed didn't start as a production thing or a management thing. Um, it started as just a way from I wanted to kind of create like a media company thing. So any films that we worked on from Savant artists, I could blog about and get money for posting and doing movie reviews because I was like a because I am a actual like programmer at a film festival
Hmm.
where I can basically do reviews on movies and write about interesting directors and actors that I know about the industry.
Hmm.
And I realized that that is a very bad kind of market to be in. So that company that originally I actually had the idea of creating part of it um, didn't actually work. And what you see on Creative Bleed with those blogs were blogs I did originally
Hmm.
as a part of that. And I never took them down because I will still want to highlight those people's work because I think they're very talented
Hmm.
and they should be on as many public platforms as possible. And I failed a lot. I started a company that did really well, and I failed companies completely. And that failure is extremely natural. So whatever.
Got it. Got it. Got it. Um, so how do you find or source that artists and collaborators, especially those who might not be on the mainstream radar?
I fail into it.
You what?
I fail into it.
So you fail into it. So what
You
does that mean?
fail into it. You fail upwards. I didn't want to necessarily meet any of these people. I wasn't scouting any of them.
Mhm.
It kind of just happened that I met them, and then something like good came out of it.
Mhm.
And so I don't even know if I can even speak to a strategy about that.
Mhm.
Um, they just ended up happening, and now we've been working together, and it's going well. And um, I guess what I can say is, if you have an opportunity, take it, even if you're not necessarily you don't feel yourself to be completely confident in it.
Mhm.
Just take the opportunity because if you don't take the opportunity and someone else does, then you're going to kick yourself in the shin when you miss something that's valuable.
Mm. I see. I see. So have you noticed common challenges or barriers independent artists face today that you hope Creative Bleed can help address? And what responsibility do you feel as a producer to advocate for those underrepresented voices?
Everyone is challenged in the independent industry.
Hmm.
Ask somebody how to, go to AFM and then you find 1,000 different people trying to get distribution on what 50 platforms. And even that, if you have 50 different distribution companies, it's too many, right? To be honest,
Agree. Yeah.
right? It needs to consolidate. Frankly, they should consolidate because the business is too thin. But um, distribution's hard. Making a good film is very difficult. finding money is very difficult. There's no easy way to finance anything, and not necessarily there shouldn't be an easy way to finance anything. But the biggest thing that I see is not necessarily in the independent world, but it comes from the people who run the movies in the independent world, is that everyone thinks they're going to be the next like Steve Jobs, the next new person to do anything, the next entrepreneur, the next George Lucas to make a blockbuster hit off of a $5 million movie or less usually. And they don't take advantage of resources because they want to make a movie like it would be made in 1980, right? They want to make a movie like it would be in the past, but that's not where reality is anymore.
Yeah.
The film industry changes every 10 years. For lack of better terms, MGM was huge. It was making huge blockbuster hits in the 60s, and then it went under, and then came a period of making really cheap, short, made like 45-minute shows that they put in theaters for like 15 cents to go watch, And then came George Lucas and Steven Spielberg, and they recreated Blockbuster. It's been around for a while, and then TV shows started becoming well, and then features started to go poorly, and then everyone blamed the TV for the fall of feature. Now everyone's blaming social media for the fall of feature and TV, and I'm like, Jesus, and I'm like, oh my God, guys, how can you blame everything for your failures, not taking advantage of something? Social media democratizes everything, right? Why are you paying like someone to promote your film $8,000 a month, right, to post like stuff on Instagram that gets 500 views when you could like actually use an established creator who would take $8,000 a month retainer to post it for millions of people to see, right?
Yeah.
And so these old established marketing people don't understand social media, and they need to understand that sometimes working with younger people and trusting younger people and younger audiences could actually benefit them in the long run.
Yeah,
and everyone I know in the independent world, 90% of people I know in the independent world are old and they don't trust young people, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that is true. So, for everyone watching, we'll be going on a break just for 5 minutes, and we'll be coming back in 5 minutes, to continue the interview with Ethan. We'll see you in 5 minutes on Just TV. Thank you, guys.
Different things. Oh, that's adorable.
Ethan, we're live now.
Oh, that's okay. Guys, everyone watching the live stream, have you seen the new emojis you can do on Zoom? It's adorable. It's so cute. I can't believe they didn't have this before. I think everyone should go on Zoom right now and look at the different emojis because it is probably the cutest thing. You can do all sorts of stuff. Like you can do like a little bicycle or a telescope. Look. Or you can be like Los Angeles in the 1920s with too many cigarettes
Oh,
and have the cigarette thing go up. You know,
oh,
when
that's
I
so
was in
funny.
China, everyone was smoking cigarettes and fit right in.
Oh, that's so funny.
I
Hey
know,
guys,
right?
welcome back again to Jess TV. We are here with this is your host Neil Nayyar with Ethan Twardosz, the entertainment producer, and we'll be continuing the interview about Ethan's career. So, I want to ask you, like, what's your view on audience and market reception today? Do you think there's more openness to experimental, independent, cross genre words compared to a few years ago?
No clue. It's not my
Okay,
world. No, not my world. I don't deal with audiences. I just deal with getting something made. Um,
got it.
and I think if I think audiences are ready for anything as long as you market it to the right people.
Interesting.
But this goes back to what I'm saying before. People should be using social media because it democratizes advertising. And if they're not using it and they're not being smart about how they target audiences, then nobody will see their film independently. And because it's not going to be distributed on any wildly known platform. And if it is, then there's thousands of films there, and you need to do certain things to make sure that it gets seen. And if you're not, then it's a problem. So,
Mm, got it.
I've seen some films that have been financed for like $500,000, and then it made $1.70 back.
So I want to ask you, like, so why does that happen?
Too many movies, and they're not promoting it, they're not marketing it. Well, I mean, it happens a lot. I mean, this is something that you see a lot. So I through programming films and also dealing with certain artists and doing sales and distribution, um, I think you notice trends, right? One trend that I've noticed is a lot of European films because they get money from the European Union and from the cultural division for promoting films in their language, whatever. That they have a recipe for making these films, but these films don't have a reach, especially in Europe, to deal with stars, right?
Mhm.
And but they're only thinking about traditional media stars, you know. But there's many social media people who live in like the Balkans that, for example, have millions of followers that if they got attached to a project could represent it, publicly. You don't have to work with an agent. You don't have to work with a marketing company. I mean, you just convince one creator, and that creator can basically create excitement around something and can promote your film, right? But back to what I was saying, they create a recipe, and then the European Union funds the recipe, and the film's not unique, and then nobody wants to watch the movie. So it's a problem. So unique content is an issue as well. Um, so I don't know. Yeah,
Interesting. So,
I watch a lot of the same movies that get submitted to film festivals.
oh, really nice, nice.
It's
Like,
not good.
I see.
It,
Interesting.
if it's the same movie, the same recipe, and it's the same everything, it it it's gonna have an issue standing out against everything.
Hmm. Interesting. So you have lived, traveled, and you have worked with like many different movies and cultures. So how do these experiences shape your workflow? I mean, your worldview and influence the kind of stories you want to tell.
Well, all the traveling effect. Oh, I had a very good conversation with this man in class, Radita. I don't know how to pronounce his last name properly, to be honest. I met him in Brazil. He's a Austrian businessman. He deals with infrastructure development He was really influential after the fall of the Soviet Union and investing in repairing a lot of Eastern Europe. He told me something that I probably will never forget, hopefully, um, and it dealt a lot with how you view Earth as a population, as a people,
Mm-hmm.
and because he travels so much, and as a European of the European Union, as someone who supports that, there was you see the borders to be um, artificial,
Yeah.
I suppose, right? And and he told me that we don't live in a country, that we live in a world, and it doesn't matter necessarily
Mm-hmm.
um, if something's happening in Asia, if you're in the United States, because it's all connected ultimately, especially with today's world and today's market, everything's connected. People will finance your film from Dubai, if it's in the United States, because people in Dubai are international. They're from all over the world. You find people who live in the Emirates that were born in the Emirates, but then you'll also find people who are from the UK and moved to the Emirates, and from the United States or Sweden or China, or from South Africa, or from Egypt. And it's if the world is smaller than you think, and it's only a 14-hour trip to China in a direct flight, and it's not that far, not anymore. Everything is right there, and you just won't realize it unless you really try to get out in the world. And I don't know how I don't know how anyone who travels can't say that it affects their life day to day. I don't know if it has a direct influence on me, but it definitely is subconscious. Um, because I don't look just to my country for an investment on a film. I look everywhere in the world for certain brands and products. And so there's that.
Very nice, very nice. So, if you weren't a producer or founder or creative lead, what do you think you would be doing, or what other passion would you be pursuing?
I don't know. I'd be building something else. I'm a builder.
A builder.
I'm a,
So
bu-
like,
I'm a builder.
so like, uh, so not in construction, but like you're like like a architect.
I don't know how to sit and do nothing. If I'm not doing one thing, I'll build something else. And that's what I like about film industry is you build so many things and you build authentic relationships with people. Well, I try to build authentic relationships with people. A lot of people are not very authentic in this industry. I approach everyone with a real interest to becoming a friend with them, to staying up to date with them, and having real relationships with people. And I expect the same from other people. I know that not everyone's the same way, but I do expect the same from everyone. And this industry is where you can build anything you want. It encompasses everything. It encompasses tech, construction, talent, literature, uh, art. It involves machinery. The film industry is nothing. The studio system is nothing but a factory, you know, and moving pieces on the factory that gets changed every 10 years and gets automated, or new things come out. And just to take an example, who knew the Jim Henson Company would be where it is today when a few decades ago it was dealing with completely different infrastructure, working on completely different movies. And now it's very heavy in tech, and before it was puppets, and
Yeah.
it's different. So if people don't know, Jim Henson Company is the company that created the Kermit the Frog movies.
Oh, interesting. So, what keeps you motivated on tough days, like when a project seems impossible or when things aren't going as planned?
Nothing's impossible. It's just not the right time.
Hmm, good answer.
You just haven't find the right person to help you with it. Everyone has different interests, and you'll find someone who's really interested in an idea, and you'll find people who aren't interested in an idea. But it's important to pitch as many things as possible at a time. So if you're working on 5 projects, tell them, I'm very passionate about X, Y, Z, F, W, H, S. You know, and then you see which one sparks someone's interest, and someone's interested in something, then it's good, you know. But every project should be kind of unique, you know. So I work in movies, I work on business, I work with factories and textile infrastructure and um, traveling and all sorts of things. You know, none of them are alike, but all of them kind of are alike at the same way. So um, you just find what hits the right nerve, you know.
Interesting. So, looking back on your journey so far, is there something you wish you told your younger self when you first started out?
Nope. I
Nope.
think everything's nope. I mean, no. I mean, younger self likes to discover things. I think if I had the answer, I wouldn't be curious.
Interesting. Interesting.
Curiosity is great
Yeah.
until you accidentally make a mistake that ruins your career and life. But curiosity is great. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Curiosity is very different. So now I want to do some fun questions with you. So, what's a film, book, or artist, like, outside your own work, that recently inspired you, and why?
Well, I think that I've never been really in touch with sports movies, but one movie that I consistently go back to and get emotional over is Ford versus Ferrari. A very
Ooh.
inspiring story, very sports orientated. It's about a car, obviously cars and race car drivers, and it's very family orientated. And there's a lot of really good stuff in that movie, and I get I get emotional at the end of that movie pretty consistently. Actually, I think it's very motivating in a part like in some way that I'm not huge sports. I'm not huge into sports. I do sword fighting. I do HEMA, but um, I'm not into most traditional sports, and that movie just involves me every time in something that I never thought I'd be interested in, and still aren't interested in day to day. But the movie consistently brings it out in me, and I think that is a very unique movie that consistently can do that for me and motivate me.
Interesting, interesting. Like, for example, I mean, it's interesting that you love Ford versus Ferrari. Like, I recently got invited, um, for a special screening for the F1 movie, actually, at the Apple Center in Cupertino, actually, which is like 2 hours away from where I live in Sacramento.
Are you going to invite me?
No, no, it actually happened 2 months ago.
Oh, happened too many months ago. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I knew, I would have invited you for sure. But it was in Cupertino, and I was shocked that there was an Apple Center 2 hours where I live. Like, it's like a hidden place, but it's
Well,
so
yeah, I
big.
mean, the HQ of Apple is right next to you. I think the HQ of Apple is in Sacramento. No, it's called Silicon Valley because it has all that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, I had no idea, and
You should go to the Apple HQ. It's humongous. It's beautiful. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. You really should, you know.
yeah. I know
And
I
the
should.
tech people are also going to try to build a statue in the middle of the San Francisco Bay, which would be really cool. Remove Alcatraz and then
Yeah,
build a giant statue that kind of honors technology and the arts. I think that's a good idea. It kind of gets rid of
oh yeah.
the prison. We shouldn't. San Francisco should not be known for the most infamous prison of all time. It should. Uh, one of the most infamous prisons of all time. It should definitely be known for kind of this forward thinking that it has, you know?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, so yeah, what happened was I got invited to the Apple movie at the Apple Center, and when I went there, it was so big. Like, they had like what so I mean, there were like so many uh film industry professionals I met over there, and not only that, but I also got to get the autograph from the director himself, John Krasinski, who directed F1 movie.
Very cool.
And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was very interesting. And I saw the whole movie because actually he was there for the promotion for the Oscars, because for
Mm.
FYC. So he did 3 tours. He did one here, he did one in New York, and in LA. I heard about it. And when I saw the movie, I don't know, I felt like it was like the story, the concept was like Ford versus Ferrari when watching the F1 movie. I don't know, that's how it felt like to me. But not only that, but someone told John Krasinski that sports movies don't make much money, but he proved Hollywood that F1 movie just like how much it grossed, like 600 million or 500 million. I don't know. I mean
I don't know. Is that even profitable for F1? How much was the budget?
yeah. I just wonder like what
Let me look this up. Let me look this up because I don't know if
yeah
500 to 600
it's
million is very profitable for a big studio film.
here we go. So
How much
budget is
was?
200 to 300 million, and then
Oh, it barely broke even then.
yeah, box office was 621 million. Yeah,
It barely broke even,
it
but
broke even.
it did. It probably did break even, so that's good. So successful, I
Yeah.
guess, in that aspect. Um, but when I watched F1, it was just right after I had a meeting with Jean Demiren, who is an Academy member for short films, and I was in Switzerland, and he also was one of the head people at the Zurich Film Festival, and I was over there having a meeting with him. And he told me I had to watch F1, and he told me to watch it that day. But I had to hop on a train and go to another country that day, right? And I was like, okay, I'll watch it in Switzerland. Well, I hopped on the train for 8 hours, went to Germany, and then watched it that night in Germany, and it was a very good movie. I liked it a lot, um, and I hope that I'm able to hop in a sports car one day with him and beat him because I know he was really into that movie too. He
So
likes
true.
well, I think he likes anything that's not a superhero trope. To be honest,
That's so cool.
too many superhero movies these days.
Huh?
There's too many superhero movies these days.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know there's so many superhero movies that like what came out? I don't remember. Was it we had Superman recently, right? Then you had was it Aquaman? I think
Yeah, I
or
mean,
something like that. Yeah.
they just remake these. I mean, it's not good. I had a meeting with Steve Asbell, and he asked me if these consistent IP projects were the way to go, and I was like, dude, I don't remember the last person I know personally that's watched Planet of the Apes in theaters, and I said that to his face, and it's interesting. He's a very intelligent guy, but I think some of the studio heads are definitely uh, very much used to IP being traditionally successful all the time and these big franchises working. I think what people are having a change of taste, and people need to catch up. But there was a very successful video game called Dispatch. I'm not sure if many people know it. Dispatch is a very popular video game. Neil knows it. It is a basically cinematic episodic game that is animated. You can choose your own adventure, and you can romance, not romance, fight, not fight, and do all sorts of different things. But you're actually involved in the story in a way that's cinematic, but also playable. And it's like $60, so you can charge more for it too, for a production that honestly is less expensive than a movie, but as a video game. And it collaborated with all sorts of established actors as well as content creators, like a really big one whose name is Jacksepticeye, who and other voice actors who have been in uh, like big studio cartoons. And it was phenomenally successful. And if
Well,
that's a model that works, I think studios should start investing, and independent artists should definitely start investing in that idea. Because instead of spending $200,000 for a feature film that won't get distribution, you can spend $200,000 to animate a choose your own adventure cinematic animation, like because this whole game is probably like 10 hours long, but there's only like an
wow.
hour worth of actual animation to it, which is less than a whole feature and involves way less work coding wise in terms of game development than you would actually think. It's very simple, and you can really do something very well with that, and it's in the right field to basically establish like work on an emergent audience for these type of games that are very successful. Baldur's Gate is an example that was really successful, that worked on games like that too. That's something to
Wow.
be thought about.
Excellent.
That's actually independent filmmakers should be looking to do stuff like that because it's filmmaking, but in gaming involves creators and it's animation, so it can be done like from anywhere in the world. So hire somebody. Like my animation, I had an animated film that we worked with Chinese animators. You can hire from all over the world. So definitely worth it.
Independent filmmakers, listen to him. All right. If you could collaborate with any artist director in the world, dead or alive, who would it be? And what kind of project would you want to do?
Artist. Don't necessarily know about an artist, but maybe mathematicians better. Michelangelo would who dealt with math and art in his same like he used math in his art, and I think that's fascinating,
Well, yeah,
and
for sure.
loved that. And I really a huge fan of that, and would love to have a conversation with him. And that's basically like doing computer science and moving into the film industry. Is you learn how math and data and this other side of art actually can contribute to a very successful and cool project.
Interesting. How about a director that you wish you would love to work if dead or alive?
I'm not sure. I mean, there's so many. How can you choose? You
Yeah.
know, there's so many. I don't know how to answer that. I would love to work with directors on all kinds of different movies. I would love to work with Spielberg or Lucas or Coppola or anybody. I mean, all these people equally excited to work with.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah. What's your daily creative ritual or habit when you sit down to work on a project?
Don't have them.
You don't have okay. Okay. Uh,
I know Latin, so maybe I can do a ritual for you right now. Summon a demonic being into existence behind you, and it's on camera, so it can be in a movie.
that would be for sure a great movie. What's the weirdest or most surprising skill, non-film, you bring to your work as a producer?
I can sword fight. No, I'm serious. If someone comes to set and wants to start something, I could pick up one of the lighting poles and use it as a fencing object. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, really? Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I know. That's something you didn't expect me to say, is it?
I was expecting that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Interesting. So like sword fighting is like I've seen that where like you hold on to like is it the one where you wear the mask or that's different?
So it's HEMA. HEMA is HEMA. It's sword fighting, but with different like fencing is only with sabers. HEMA uses armor and battle axes, shields, great swords, short swords, katanas, and all sorts of different martial arts styles around the world. And you compete and you fight people, and it's really cool because you can get beat up and you can beat up other people and you learn some skills and you get stronger. Uses your full body, and it really gets you moving. I like to move, to think, take a lot of walks. I do a lot of exercise and hiking, and so that's one way I'd love to exercise, and it honestly does help clear my head and can help me with a lot of work.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, for me I do kung fu. So like, we kind
There
of
you go.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's similar to sword fight, but like we have weapons like I don't know, daggers, spears, staff,
Yeah,
uh
I mean, we train with all the same things. Yeah,
same
we
things.
train with the same
Okay.
stuff. So
Same.
it's very similar, except you don't wear armor, and I would beat you in a fight. I did
Yeah.
Taekwondo too, so it's coming from a
Ooh,
martial arts perspective as well. You know,
that's
is
nice.
that yeah, absolutely. Someone with full armor can beat
Hmm.
you. Don't
Ooh.
believe the movies. Don't believe the movies. Okay, one person cannot beat 10 people. One person can't even beat 3 people. Very difficult. You'd come out with a lot of injuries. You
Yeah,
might
for
just
sure.
die from those injuries themselves. Actually, I mean, it's very complicated business. Actually, that's what leads into one of my favorite passion projects about movies is I want to work on medieval films. I want to work on scripts and on movies that incorporate timepiece and medieval history and allow me to experiment with different cultures from all over the world. I'm very passionate about that. I would love to do like a movie on the Timurids and the Mughals, right? They're very interesting people, quite violent people, but very interesting history. And would love to do a movie on that. I think that would be interesting, or maybe even like something focused on Mansa Musa and Mali. That's West African, and that's some unique history. And they did some barbarism down there that was really interesting. And there's some darkness and there's some goodness and all of that. And it's interesting to explore history in that perspective.
Mm, interesting. So you have a few questions left. So what upcoming projects at Creative Bleed are you most excited about, and why?
Never talk about a project in development.
Oh, really?
I don't want it stolen. If you submit a
Okay.
script to an agency, you put untitled. It will not get. It will not be could be read by any interns or put on a database because it's entitled. So
Ah.
don't talk about your ongoing developing projects. Not a good idea. Always register with the WGA.
Hmm. How about the one you were working today? You said you were at some
Can't
Disney.
tell you about it. Not telling you. Yeah, I was at
Okay.
Disneyland for a meeting, but that was separate from everything else. I was with one of my clients who's a director and writer, and he gave me 13 scripts to review. Or
Nice.
did I say 13? Or about? I mean, there's a lot of scripts. I have a whole box of them I have to read through. I have to pick up some interns to do some reading because there's a lot of reading. So
Interesting. And then you also mentioned that your work in a project was with a streaming platform. Was it
yeah, we're gonna hopefully package something into Tubi.
Tubi?
I'm very familiar with some friends there in both Tubi originals and Tubi content, um, and hopefully that pans out the way we'd like to, and everything can get developed through that.
Excellent. Excellent. So, where do you see Creative Bleed fitting into the broader entertainment and creative industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
It'll
And
be dead.
what's your what?
It'll be dead. It'll be gone. I don't see longevity in it at all. Don't want to work in indie stuff for the rest of my life. No way.
Okay.
There's no money in it. What are you talking about? You know,
Okay. All
it,
right. All
it,
right.
it serves its purpose.
It's in progress. Got it. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. Well, like, let's say you produce films. So, like, do you have like a so you don't have like a long term vision in producing films, or you just want to still
I'm
produce?
sure I'll get attached to other companies.
Ah.
Probably, or I'll develop something new. I mean, I don't want everything to be under the Creative Lead banner. I don't think necessarily it should be. Um,
Got it.
um, there's a benefit for creating a new company and having a new brand and more successful brand with new partners on board that can benefit it. Creative Lead is myself and myself only, um, pretty much. So it's not there's not a lot of room for oncoming and incoming partners. So there'll have to be a few changes to what I'm doing, like with my own work habits and culturally, for me to start working on bigger projects and become more ambitious in the things that I do and things that I develop.
Got it. Cool.
But even
Um,
now, Creative Lead is
are
small.
there here we got cool, cool, cool. So, are there genres, mediums, or art forms you haven't explored yet but want to maybe I don't know like I don't know like VR, interactive media, animation, or beyond?
Interactive animation. I can see myself doing that.
Animation, very cool.
I could totally see
And
myself doing interactive animation. It's like a video game and also animated and doing like decisions. I mean, it doesn't even have to be animated. It could be like decisions, but but like with real people. I could see myself doing that too. 100%. Um, I think it would be really fun to do. I think there's a platform for it, and there's a community for it, and it can be done cheaply and well.
very nice. Yeah, I'm also what you say? Uh I'm also actually in college and I'm studying game audio. You know, like for sound design, music, and using this platform called Unity. You know, I
Love
think everyone
Unity.
knows
Yeah.
Unity. Like, like,
Yeah,
huh?
come on, everyone knows Unity.
Of course,
Unity is famous, infamous.
of course, right? It's famous, of course. And we're learning, like, how to do sound design and put into Unity, and then put on video games. So I think it's video games in very very different. I mean, video games and films are like two different things. Even when I compose music before, so it's very different. Um, and then lastly, I want to ask, what advice would you give to someone young or new, maybe a film student, hobbyist, or aspiring producer who wants to start their own creative venture today?
If you're not going to one of the top five best film not festivals, if you're not going to one of the best five film schools in the country, it's probably not worth going to a film school. Always check it with the IMDb of the LinkedIn of the professors in the film industry in the film school that you're applying to. If they haven't actually worked in anything, there's a lot of film professors that are just academic film professors, and they're not going to teach you anything. Um, uh, it's probably actually better you go into a business degree for being a producer, because a lot of producing is business. And and then what you do is you work on as many projects as you can throughout your school. And if you, rather than studying film, engross yourself in film. It's like doing an entrepreneurship degree. Why would you do an entrepreneurship degree? Start a company, right? Why do you study social media? Post on social media. You know, studying a university with these people that don't know anything about what you're doing doesn't mean anything. If you apply yourself young, you're going to learn better than if you wait until you're all the way through your bachelor's degree. Or even people even go for a master's degree in movies and they don't even work on anything. And then you're 26 and you don't have any real experience, and you learn from people without any real experience. And you're behind somebody who's 20 years old or 21 years old, who's interning with the right people and who's working on projects and is fully engross themselves into what they're doing. Whatever you do, whatever you do in life, doesn't even matter film. If you involve yourself 100% as young as possible, you're going to learn way more. And the people you're going to meet on that process will be way more important than any busy work you complete through school.
Very nice.
Yeah, I'm just
Well,
saying, at CSUN, for example, like 90% of the professors don't have any real experience.
wow, that is
And
crazy.
a lot of them are USC like professors too that came over to CSUN, and they have the same academic program, which is not so great because it means that even within a lot of established programs, the actual working experience there is very low. Um, when you were studying in the year 2000s, right? The people that were actually professors there, they had real experience, right? And they were teaching from real experience. Nowadays, the teachers that are there and the students were students that graduated and then decided, you know what, I'm not going to work in the industry, I'll just become a professor. And that's the problem, is that they're working for the same jobs that you're applying for as a student.
Hmm.
Why take a class about selling a script if they've never sold a script?
Yes.
Figure out how to sell a script yourself.
Yeah, that's true. That's for sure true. Well, thank you, Ethan, so much for being on this interview, and for taking the time. We really appreciate it from me and also the team from Just TV. So, if people want to find you, where can they find you?
You can go to savantartists.com or creativebleed.com and find me there. My email is ethan@savantartists.com. I deal with all sorts of things. Send me scripts, or I have some clients for talent, actors, writers, directors, composers. And if you have any work or want to hire anybody, let me know, and I'll connect you to the right people.
And how about social media like Instagram, Facebook?
I have an Instagram. I have a Facebook too. I don't use the Facebook as often, but if you go to Instagram, I'm pretty sure you can just find me. Actually, I don't actively remember my tag. It is, and you're looking at it, Ethan Twardosz. Oh, it's just my name. Okay, fantastic. Just look up Ethan Twardosz, ETHAN TWARDOSZ.
Excellent. For sure, we'll make sure the viewers will follow you back. And so thank you so much, Ethan. Appreciate it. And again, this is Nayyar, your host, with Ethan Twardosz on the Jess TV. And thank you so much for listening. And we'll see you in the next interview. Thank you.
Have a wonderful night, guys. Stay safe. And go to sleep early.